I'm live. Shuffling stuff around here, trying to get focused. So you're gonna see, you're truly gonna see it live. There's no scripting, no rehearsing here, no second takes, one take only. We're good to go. Today, I haven't had one of these in a while. This is a cane Daytona, and these are pretty good. This is the 6x60. It's the big one. The smaller ones, they're okay. They just don't, I feel like they don't have the flavor. Sometimes the smaller cigars are a little bit better. The big ones are a little too much. But the cane Daytona, yeah, I like the bigger one. It definitely has absorbed the flavor better in it. And it's a pretty strong cigar. So don't start off with that, especially on an empty stomach. Might knock you down. Good stuff. Well, it is Thursday. I need to start dating it, putting the timestamp in the video, or the date stamp in the video. It is Thursday, August 3rd, 2023. Man, 2 days from now, I'll have been working at the company I work for now for like 21 years. Crazy, 21 years. Thirsty Thursday, yeah, a little bit thirsty. It's cloudy, it's hazy and humid right now. Tomorrow's going to be about 90 degrees at happy hour time, so yeah, I'll definitely be thirsty then. Hazy and humid. All right, so I want to get into, first of all, a big shout out last night. There was Thurand, looks like you hopped in. Daddy O, looks like you hopped in. Last night on Litecoin Underground, LTC Underground, the space that was out there was, I mean, it's pretty good. He did some giveaways for the Litecoin halving. He gave a half of a Litecoin to 4 different people, I think. And of course, I was one of them. You know, it just happened to be. He was a little reluctant to give it to me because he's like, ah, man, an OG Litecoiner. I don't want to give it to him. But it will be spent in a wise way. I'll put it to use and probably make a giveaway. I've already thought about, you know, should I give a giveaway, have a giveaway on happy hour or something? You know, I don't know. We'll talk about it. I'll figure out a good way to get rid of it. Not that hard to do. So yeah, and I had him send it to the Cake wallet and request some songs. You know, when you get it, you know, what's your song request when you win a Litecoin, the half a Litecoin? Come up and speak a little bit. And I said, well, play something by Cake. So he did, and he played a version of War Pigs. You know, I think Black Sabbath was the one that originally had it. I like the original better. I don't care for the one by Cake so much. I like The Distance by Cake, you know. Going the distance. Yeah, anyway. But I didn't get that one. I'll have to play that on my own. Maybe as an open for spaces tomorrow night, if I do a spaces. We'll see what happens after happy hour. You never know. Consuming alcohol from 4 p.m. Central Time to after midnight. This makes for a long evening. You know, once you get started. All right, so anyway, it's Thursday. Thanks for hanging in here. Thanks for hopping in. Let's turn our efforts and focus on Zero Hedge right now since, yeah, she's going for speed. Right, Polly P? And since Polly P's in the chat, we're going to focus on Zero Hedge a little bit here. One of the headlines today on an article, it says, freight volume and spending declined markedly in second quarter. What does that mean? Well, we had Yellow Trucking go bankrupt. 99-year-old trucking company, the third largest trucking company in the country. Belly up. Truck freight volume and spending in the second quarter of 2023 declined by the highest levels since the early days of the pandemic. That's not a good thing because not a lot happening during that time. Remember, restaurants are closed down and not getting things in. And remember you had pictures of piles of potatoes that are getting thrown out, you know, and all this food that was just getting thrown out because they're used to producing. Well, the restaurant's closed. Oh crap! You know, what are we gonna do with these fine steak cuts? Don't know what to do with them. I guess we're gonna have to put them in the store and sell them as ground beef. I don't know. We got to get rid of them because the restaurants aren't buying them. They're closed. Well, the trucks, you know, they're not delivering stuff. You know, people aren't going and shopping and. The super rise of Amazon at that point, you know, so that does help on that aspect, you know, the trucking, but you know, it might be a different type of trucking. I don't know if they own all their stuff or not. Like Walmart, I'm not sure if they contract that out or if they own their trucks. Not sure. But anyway, what Zero Hedge is reporting that, you know, it declined. Trucking, highest decline since the early days of the pandemic, the latest U.S. Bank Freight Payment Index revealed. Spending by shippers dropped 10.9% compared to the second quarter of 2022, while shipment volume dropped 9%. according to a statement from the Minneapolis-based bank. I mean, that's huge. I mean, you're like 10% down on this stuff. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. And we've got a hot economy, though. You know, everything's roaring. You know, inflation's going through the roof, and all these jobs getting created. I mean, we're ripping and roaring, baby. Yet trucking's down 10% from last year at this time. Doesn't seem to make sense, does it? Well, a lot of things don't make sense. Trucking is in the midst of a significant slowdown, said Bob Costello, Senior Vice President and Chief Economist at the American Trucking Associations. That's not good. Weaker consumer demand for goods and a slowdown in manufacturing activity and housing starts are having a major impact on the industry, especially carrier operations. All right, none of this bodes well for the economy. None of it's good. I mean, housing slowdowns, housing starts slowing down, the new houses. Well, why would that be? Why would someone say, well, you know what, honey, let's not build that house? You know, and more people say that. Why wouldn't they say that? Well, if you got interest rates for the home, 30-year mortgage over 7%, when just not that long ago it was like 2.5%. Kind of obvious, isn't it? Why would you want to go out and commit yourself to a 30-year mortgage, you know, and build a house, and, you know, with those kind of rates? Absolutely ridiculous. You're paying for the house 3 times. So that's a problem. Doesn't bode well for, you know, a booming economy, you know. Boomonomics. Weaker consumer demand for goods and a slowdown in manufacturing activity and housing starts. I mean, that's pretty big. Manufacturing slowing down, that's production, that's making things, that's actually, you know, building the products, the things that make other products, slowing down. Consumer demand, that means everybody says, you know what, I don't need to buy that stuff anymore, I'm cutting back, or I can't afford it. And then you see credit card debts higher than it's ever been. I mean, that's exploding. People are tapped out, not a lot of money, not a lot of disposable money, and this is the result of it. Yet we see that everything is fine, everything is okay. You know, look at all the jobs that have been created. Bidenomics is working. And again, I don't, you know, it's whatever president's in office. You got to keep printing the money, folks. $1 million in interest a year, what we're paying on the debt. Wasted money. $1 million, just throwing it away instead of building things. That's where we're at. So trucking sector doesn't look that good right now, and it's just a hallmark of the economy. It's just kind of a bellwether, I guess you could say, of the economy. It gives us an indication of what's really going on. Oh yeah, everything appears to be a cover-up. Capitol Police Chief challenged J6 narrative in a never-aired Tucker Carlson interview. Speaking of Tucker Carlson, he interviewed Devin Archer, the business partner of Hunter Biden. And go watch that. It's like a 10-minute clip on Twitter. It'll all make sense then. You know, on the one hand, you've got Joe Biden saying, I never got involved in my son's dealings. I stay out of that. You know, we don't even talk about business. And yet there's a letter that he produced, this Devin Archer, directed directly to him. Sent to him from Joe Biden, then vice president, and you know it had his name right at the top, Devin Archer, and then in the actual letter he spelled it Devin, D-E-V-I-N instead of O-N. So he spelled it right and wrong in the same letter. You know, everything is right and everything is wrong. It doesn't matter. It's all good. So the letter essentially said, hey, you know, it's so great. You know, I wish I could have met you for lunch yesterday, but I was dealing with the Chinese president. I was occupied with him. And, you know, hey, let's meet again for lunch. And it's congratulations. I'm so glad that, you know, you and Hunter are working together, the son. And then Devin Archer goes into the interview. It's a really good interview, about 11 minutes long with Tucker Carlson. Go check it out. Devin goes into it and essentially says that, you know, Joe Biden got on the phone in business meetings on speakerphone while he was vice president, in business meetings with his son Hunter, about 20 times, according to Devin Archer. And he said, you know, just the appearance of the vice president or the hearing of the vice president's voice in passing in a business meeting situation on speakerphone is all you need, because they're all about influence. That's why they started the company. It's about, you know, getting things done in Washington, having connections and making things happen. What better connection than the son of a president vice president, sorry. And then that vice president, happens to pop in on conference calls, and his son puts him on speaker, and everybody in the room says, holy cow, that's the vice president. Well, who wouldn't want to do a deal with that if you're a businessman? You're like, I got direct access, man. Just the fact that they've got phone communication opened up, which they denied, never involved in business. The fact that that happens, that's all you need, man. That's influence peddling. I mean, that's exactly what you need in Washington. You need somebody to be able to pull the strings and get things done. I mean, who wouldn't want their partner? I don't care how deviant he is, and crazy and whacked out he is. You see it from all his photos on the laptop. If you're in it just for business, what better business partner to have than the son of the vice president when the vice president gets on the phone during the business meeting? And you're like, hey, that's total access, baby. It's all good. It's all good, man. I mean, that's the kind of situation you've got here. And there's no impropriety here. It's just a son and a father having a conversation, happen to be calling. Mainstream news, the way they're reporting this is absolutely ridiculous. Should be able to see through all of this. Meanwhile, we've got indictments for someone saying something about, an election that might have been not that kosher, even though there's evidence to the fact that it wasn't. So we got him indict him. The good thing is, apparently, Trump's lawyer is talking about this case that he was recently indicted for is going to allow him to subpoena and have discovery, which is something I'm like, oh, good, that'd be great. Let's see what the other side was doing. Let's get all the information out there. Let's extract it in a court setting. So this could get kind of nuts in the next year leading up to the election. Whew. Fun times, I tell you. All right. What else we got on Zero Hedge? Cigar hour on Zero Hedge. Swipe left. Come on, man. No. Niger. I don't know. It's a country in Africa. Apparently they had a coup and the president, I think, is being held and talked about killing the finance minister until they find out where all the money went. I mean, lynching people. Imagine that. Crazy. Seems to be what's happening. And then the U.S. announces partial embassy evacuation as Biden urges ousted Niger president's release. Please release the president because we had a deal with him. Go read John Perkins' Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I don't know if that's what's to the story here, but a lot of these African nations, a lot of these third world nations, degrading them. All you had to do is go buy the leader. So you create this 3-letter operation, you go over there and send an economic hitman and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. And it can be, through coercion, force, the carrot or the stick method. So you can go in there, you basically co-opt the president of the place, and they've got resources in that country. So it's like, hey, you know what? You're going to get rich. Just give us access to these resources. Now, it may be a CIA front. It may be another corporation that's got influence, whatever. Maybe a Burisma that or some company that might have some ties to a vice president's son. Who knows? Just pure speculation on all this. But you've got the ability to co-opt the guy at the top through whatever means necessary. And then he essentially steals from his people, steals the resources of the country, and then someone benefits from wealthy, and everybody gets paid except the people who, live in that country. And at some point, though, when people have had enough, they've had enough, and now they've got the president, imprisoned, being held somewhere, and of course, Joe Biden to the rescue. He's going to make sure that I urge you to let that guy go. Maybe it's a sign of things to come, a little foreshadowing. We'll see. I don't know. Services surveys signal stagflation. The 4 S's. Services surveys signal stagflation. Threat growing. Slowing growth, sticky inflation. Okay, the days of malaise. People might remember that back from the Carter administration in the late 70s. Are we headed into a situation like that? Very possibly. What is stagflation? Stagflation is a cigar you don't smoke, and it dies on you. I don't understand it. I just don't get it going and hot enough prior to going live. But stagflation essentially is just hey, prices are rising and your wages aren't. You know, they're outpacing what you make. So what you got to outflow is more than what you're taking in. You know, you've got inflation, but the economy's stagnant. It's not like a situation where everything's hot, man. You know, late 90s, you know, you got the stock boom, you know, wages going up, the economy is growing, everything's great. Yeah, you know, that's awesome. You know, and then it all falls in 2000 into 2001. I don't know, when did it, I guess you make the argument, when did it collapse? I mean, when did the whole thing go to crap? The genesis block of the whole thing. But then you got to 1933, you can make the argument that 20 years after that, we kind of filed bankruptcy in a way. I mean, at least we went off the gold standard and confiscated the gold, revalued the gold, you know. Then you had the silver still in the money to 1964. That left 1971, what, August 15th? We got that date coming up. August 15th, I think, is when Nixon closed the gold window. It's like, hey, no, you French people, you're not, no, we're not exchanging debt for gold anymore. No, you're not cashing it in. We're closing the window. So at that point, totally cut the tie with metals completely with the economic system in the United States corporation. And so since then, I think we've just done nothing but kick the can and paper it along. Now, we've gone over 50 years now. You're kind of outlasting, you know, outlasting your normal livelihood. So you just had, you know, we just papered it over at that point. I mean, we disconnected anything of value, and starting in 1971 all the way through the 70s, that's why you had that rapid inflation in metals and commodities and that kind of stuff. But then you had another problem in 90, 91. Then you had, you know, innovation kind of pull you out of it in the 90s. You know, during the Clinton administration, you got to benefit from that growth in the economy due to, you know, the tech boom. And so that kind of saved things. But after that, everything went to crap. You know, you had a big market dump in 2000, early 2000, and then you had 9/11. I mean, that really put another pinch. The economy was already rolling over, though. And then 9/11 was just kind of that death blow. And that's when you had the real, okay, everything's falling apart. We really need to control the people so they don't get crazy and don't get rowdy and understand what's happening. So let's form something called Homeland Security, the TSA. Let's bring in a police grid, you know, a police state, because that's going to be necessary as all this money unwinds and collapses, because that's what's happening, and they knew it then. And so they put all that in to try and, okay, you know, strong arm you into doing things and, you know, making it more difficult to really break out of that system. And they printed a bunch of money, housing boom, you know, into the 2005, 6, all the way up, you know, to that point. Then another crash, 2008. System died, completely died again. I mean, for real, died. Banks locked up, wouldn't exchange value, nothing. We don't trust each other. No. Congress has to go in, bail them out. Failed the first vote, got threatened, tanks on the streets. Oh my God, Hank Paulson, Treasury Secretary, gonna have anarchy, civil war, it's gonna be terrible. So they voted it in. And then since then, it's just been nothing but rampant, you know, stimulus. And that's all it's been. It's just, we'll stimulate and create as much money as we need to. Every president, every Congress, doesn't matter which side of the aisle, they've done that up until this point. And they're still doing it. And they're trying to say they're not doing it, but they're doing it. Because all you gotta do is look at the debt. We're issuing what? They just issued yesterday or the day before, the Treasury says, we need to float like $1 trillion. You know, and the market's kind of like, holy crap, you know. What are we gonna do? So, you know, they're increasing debt. I don't think it was that much, but it was a significant amount of what they've been doing. So they're bringing more debt into the market, more paper, more notes that they're selling. And that's all they're doing. And so now you're seeing the rest of the world, which used to kind of go along with it because, hey, we're going to send troops in. We're going to roll over you. Hey, Iraq, F you. Hey, Afghanistan, F you. Hey, Ukraine, well, F you, but we're not sending troops. We'll send some money over. And then where's that gone? What's happened there? Pretty much done. So you really don't have that muscle anymore to be able to continue the economic system, because countries are saying, nah, we're just not going to play the game. Russia says, fine, keep doing what you're doing. We'll slow roll it. When the money's gone and they're out of munitions, they'll just walk in and take the whole country if they want to. Not that that is the goal. Maybe it is. Maybe, but you know, I think that's always been historically part of the whole Russian thing. It goes back a long way, the conflict and all the meddling that's gone on in Ukraine. It's just one of those countries that's always going to be kind of in the middle of things, kind of like the Balkans, you know, in that area. It's just, there's some of those countries that are constant turmoil, just because they're factions that have always been fighting. And the Middle East, you know, some of the same things go on. So stay out of it. That's really what it comes down to. Stay out of it. Well, we can't stay out of it because, you know, we got to go over there and get involved because that allows us to do a lot of trafficking of different items. And, you know, a lot of people make money, defense contractors, all this stuff. And politicians get greased, all that. It's kind of coming to an end, though, it seems like. That empire that has been created based on unsound money that's been wrestled from us, you know, back to having gold and silver in your hand, then a representation of it, and then maybe a country can exchange for it to no. Now you don't get any of it. Now it's backed by nothing. Nothing. Absolutely backed by nothing, the money that you have in your pocket. So it's created at will and destroyed at will, whatever they want to do. And other countries, my point is, other countries are seeing that and taking action. And so this month, I think August 22nd, maybe the 23rd, you've got the BRICS nations. The BRICS nations are coming together and saying, okay, we're going to have a new gold-linked currency. I don't think it's completely gold-backed, but a gold-linked currency. At least it's a start. It's something that they're looking at, hey, we've got to do something different. I know we've all got different currencies. We're all different economies. We need to come together in a coalition of some sorts to kind of get away from this whole dollar-denominated system, because that's what everything denominated into, and that's the struggle. Everything's tied to the dollar. There's so many of them, the world's awash in them, that how do you break free from that? It's like you're drowning in dollars. Okay, how do I get out of this and start taking something different, using something different, convincing other people that we need to do something different? And so other people are coming together, the BRICS nations, saying, okay, yeah, well, let's do something different. And they're doing something different. So I think it will be educational to watch what happens here in August. Maybe it'll be a big hype thing and nothing changes after, August 22nd, 23rd, whenever they have their meeting. But the fact that they're on a different path now, that they're not enslaved to the dollar system and not going to allow themselves to continue to be enslaved by the dollar system, and they're moving away from it, and there's nothing that the the DC empire can do to stop it. It's a slow unwind, probably. I mean, so yeah, we're going to see stagflation here. The price of everything that we need is going to continue to go up. Are we going to get paid more money? Well, it depends. What do we produce? That's why the thing I talked about yesterday, and then Cliff High was actually talked about it. I didn't know he was going to talk about it, but apparently he made his video before I made my video, but it was recorded and didn't get uploaded till later. But this LK99 thing, this new superconductor, it's a stable superconductor, I guess you could say. It doesn't have a lot of requirements to run. And he went into some of the benefits that it could possibly bring, theorizing. Pretty cool stuff. You got to innovate your way out of it. Just like the tech boom and at the end of the 90s, definitely put us on a better path. I don't know, more efficient path in a lot of ways. This could do kind of the same thing. Objects, things like this, puts us on a different path, and maybe we pull ourselves out of this madness. The thing is, though, you got to realize that it's a broken structure to begin with. The monetary system, the structure that's coming out of DC, is a structure that is total enslavement. That's what it is. I mean, you can't get around that until you fix that money, until you reinvent it and do something different. There's nothing you can do. And okay, so we got $30+ trillion in debt. People are on the hook for it. Are we? Is it my fault? Did I vote for it? I don't think so. So at some point, what happens if you just say, F it, I'm done. Not paying it. It's not paying it. So you got pensions blowing up. You got countries that are like, oh my gosh, where's that money? I don't know. You got to transition into something else. And enter the crypto, option. That is an option. I mean, it definitely is an option because it can soak up all the excesses. And by what I mean by that is and I think this is what they want to do, but they want to do it on their own control mechanisms or, CBDCs and social credit scores, and they'll get the big transfer and benefit from it. You won't. That's what they want, I think. But you can soak up all that money because cryptocurrencies are an unlimited sponge. How high can Bitcoin go? How high can Litecoin go? How high can any of these cryptos go? As high as you want them to go. I mean, if they're soaking up trillions and quadrillions of dollars, okay, $1 million Bitcoin's nothing. So it can do that. The key is, though, realize that who's holding the assets? It's just like what's Gerald Celente say, the golden rule is he who has the gold rules. That's why central banks hold it, and that's why they've always held it, because it's kind of that, it's that asset that has no encumbrances, that asset that there's no debts attached to it. It's an asset. If you have it in your hand, you have it in your hand. Same with Bitcoin, same with cryptocurrency. You have it in your hand, you have possession of it, the private keys, and you own it, have access to it on the blockchain, when you say it right, and you can spend it and do whatever you want with it and transfer it, then you win. Okay? What happens if, all these big institutions that are now coming into it are doing nothing more than, hey, let's keep this price low. Let's keep it low. Let's throw some fear out there, some uncertainty, some doubt, some FUD, so that we can accumulate. We can build as much as we can and extract as much of this stuff and own as much of this stuff as we can before we kind of pull the pin and open the floodgates to the people. Well, it's probably what's happening. I mean, you look at all these exchanges that crashed, FTX, BlockFi, Celsius. Where did the Bitcoin go? Where did the crypto go? Who ended up with it? Where did it go? Are the people going to get that back, or are they just going to be made whole in US dollars, Federal Reserve notes? And then as we go forward, once they transition us into it, say, hey, digital's efficient. It's the best thing in the world. Yes, crypto's great. Go buy your crypto on this platform, that platform, our authorized platform. Use your CBDCs to do it. But if you want to withdraw it, it's going to be like taking cash out of the bank now. Yeah, you can withdraw it, but we're going to hit you for, a fee, or we're going to go back and immediately, oh, well, you're withdrawing it. We got to tax you on that somehow. We got to take the cut, whatever it is. They can make anything up they want if they hold it. And so that may be the play, to where, oh yeah, you can buy it all, put your retirement in these cryptos. Absolutely. Denominate it in that. That's fine. Problem is, you're not gonna be able to take them out. It's like your 401ks now, or your retirement plans now. Well, you can't take it out until you're like 50 something and a half years old. And then you can take it out and the penalty's not so bad, or there's no penalty. They'll keep stringing you along like they've done in our dollar-based system, going from gold to basically nothing at this point. They'll string you along and extrapolate, all this out, and then they'll vampire you and suck as much energy out of you as they can in that whole process, because that's what they do, and they'll continue to do it. So if you see it coming, do something about it. I'll just sit back and say, oh, woe is me, nothing I can do. Oh, it's poor me, it's terrible that I'm in this situation. Well, figure out something that you can do. It's much better to be holding the crypto in your possession now while you can, and acquire it now, especially when it's on sale like Litecoin. I don't even know what it is. It's under 90 bucks, I know that. Let's see what kind of bargains we have today. Bitcoin 29,200, just sits around 29,000. Litecoin $86.43 on the stated price. Now we're going to get into this tonight, because I got some questions with Johnny Law. He does a lot of blockchain analysis and looks at it, and he put out a tweet today about futures market and spot price, and when it gets like 5 to 1, futures have control of the market. They essentially determine the market price. Doesn't matter supply and demand, none of that stuff. So I want to get into that a little bit and see how that price is manipulated and how that gets manipulated. But on the other side, we talked about last week, he talked about I'm talking about Litecoin specifically right now. Cane Daytona, yummy. So he talked about last week how there are wallets, exchanges, essentially kind of looks like they're washing taking the Litecoin off the market and putting it in various wallets and just locking it up, you know, taking possession of it. Like what might be happening in silver right now, actually taking physical possession without telling you that that's what they're doing. Big players doing this. So I want to get into that a little bit more, because at that point, I mean, it's the coins that you want, right? I mean, you want to hold the coins because it's one pie with several pieces of pie, but it's limited. They're limited slices of pie. And if they're taking pie out of there and taking pie out of there, pretty soon there's not that much left to be, you know, to go around. And if you truly get to that point where it's all gone and the physical crypto is off the exchanges, the only thing left is what's coming in from the mining. That's the only new supply. Or you can convince someone to sell it at a specific price, and you have a free market at that point, or a true market. $86? No, I won't be selling Litecoin. 96? No, I won't be selling Litecoin. 196? No, I won't be selling Litecoin. So you get to a point where it's like, what is it worth when you understand that, hey, wait a minute, I got a finite asset here that other people want, and they're taking possession of, and these are people with trillions of dollars. Maybe they know something. Just saying. So we'll get into that tonight on the let's hash it out. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hash it out with Johnny Law and get to the bottom of this stuff. And today, I think the time is gonna be 4 p.m. Central Time. But Blind Dave told me 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. Central Time on Blind Dave's channel. Go check that out. I do have a link in the description below to last week's show, but you can go to that link and then you can subscribe to Dave's channel, and you can put a notification bell on if you want and get notified when he drops a video, and then you'll be able to tune in. Pretty cool stuff. So let me check on the chat here a little bit. And then tomorrow, of course, is happy hour. You know, can't miss that, 4 p.m. Central Time. What's Westwood gonna be smoking? What's he gonna be drinking? That's the main thing. I don't know, man. It's my 1 day a week. That's it. I'm 1 day a week. I'm drinking. Happy hour is my day, man. So I look forward to it. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna be consuming tomorrow. What kind of beverages? What was I doing? I was looking at the chat. Let me check it out. Am I in the right place? No. Miss Teen Crypto Show. I was watching that last. She puts out really good content. I mean, she really does. I mean, I've known her since she was a wee little bitty girl. No, not so much. I've known her dad for a long time, and you know, I remember when she first started getting into crypto and reaching out, and I mean, just having questions, and I mean, it's pretty cool to watch her grow up in this space. I mean, she's really doing an amazing job. I mean, the content, the knowledge that she's bringing to the table on her shows. I mean, she's doing her homework and doing the research, and it's pretty cool. Pretty awesome to see that. She says some of the stuff that I used to say, and I'm like, I don't even need to talk anymore. I mean, just let people like her, you know, especially her, let her go out and say all this stuff. It's much better to look at than I am. You know, so anyway, go watch Miss Teen Crypto. Pretty awesome. All right, let me pull up the chat real quick here. Okay, so we have Mitch, first one in here, the Rand, NC proud, man. Old jobs from the COVID pandemic. That's why our jobs are absolutely NC proud. Okay, that's the only reason jobs are up, is because we lost so many jobs in this whole scamdemic, this whole pandemic that we had, and now all those people are coming back to work. So it looks like, oh my gosh, look at it, all went up. Look at all the jobs. Well, are they new jobs? I mean, they might be new jobs, but I mean, these are people that were working and weren't working, and now they're working, and so we count that as some boom in the economy. All these people are working. And then if they're working 2 or 3 jobs, you know, just like part-time jobs, well, you know, we just created 3 new jobs, but it's one person. Doesn't matter. It's 3 new jobs, but it's 3 jobs for one person. Doesn't matter. It's like the inflation statistics that they do. It used to be, okay, you know, 8 ounces of steak, you know, this is the average price. And then they take that out of there, and they said steak, and they're like, huh? Then they took that out of there, and they say, well, it's really 8 ounces of top sirloin now, no longer the ribeye. Okay, now we're gonna base it on the price, the average price of 8 ounces of ground beef. now it's 8 ounces of, pink slime. And that's what they do. They say, well, you're still getting the same amount of food. But see, they plug it out. It's like the stock market, the Dow Jones Industrials, 500, 100, whatever it is. Well, if you don't perform, they pull you out of there and put ones in that perform. So it kind of makes it look good. Same thing with these statistics. They'll take it out and say, well, you're still getting the same amount of stuff, but I'm not saying the quality is worse, but you're still eating it, and your bellies are still full. Well, we're becoming sicker because of it, but inflation's fine. It's no food inflation. Still getting the same amount of food, even though it's just a pile of garbage. And then you got the burden on the healthcare system because we're all eating sick food and making us sick. Food is our medicine, and the medicine is making us sick. But we did see an increase in medical jobs, and that's why, because poisoning is, it's all good. Part of the plan. Don't worry about it. So yeah, good point. NC Proud. That's exactly it. You got more people coming back into the workforce that were put out of work. Another thing that's not good. Student loan debt repayments are going to kick back in. I'm not sure when it is. It might be in the fall here, but think of the drain on the economy that's going to be when people weren't paying $500,000 a month or more for their student debt because of the pandemic. Oh, take a break. Yeah, no big deal. And I wonder if the interest is still accumulating, and accruing on that. That'd be, what a horror show if that's the case. But say it isn't, and they just did a standstill, and now they're going to kick it back up again. If you're out there kind of you got normalized and you're like, okay, I'm scraping by, I'm doing my thing. Oh, shoot, that student debt kicks back in next month. I got to pay another $700, $800 a month to that. Crap, what am I going to do now? I'm just saying, think what you will of the student debt situation. Yeah, they took it on themselves. It's their fault. Well, the thing is, everybody's going to suffer because of it, because you're going to have less money going into the economy, because more of it's going to go to, just servicing debt at that point, paying back the government, their biggest asset on their books, student debt. You really think they're going to get rid of it? Please. Smoke and mirrors, man. So another hit on the economy. All right, so KZ Gypsy Muse. What is going on? Oh, we got work going on over there. That's it. I don't know if they're working on the fiber line out in the ditch or what's going on. Yes, KZ Gypsy Muse, right? Bidenomics. Daddy O in the house. I talked about Mitchie the B-Man. He's in the house. Paulie P. He's here. What else we got? Charlie G in the house. Get that car on the road, brother. You might need to take it somewhere. Josh Lake, yes, no inflation with Litecoin. It's actually becoming deflationary, just from the standpoint of, I talked about it yesterday. It's an amazing thing when things work as they're supposed to. See, that's why I like things like Litecoin. Love Litecoin. Sound money for the digital age, just so you know. And if you don't know it now, you will at some point. It's better to be ahead of the herd and get trampled by it. Okay? Look into Litecoin. That's a website. Look into Litecoin. All right. So when it's defined by math and there are boundaries and it works as it's supposed to, it's an awesome thing to watch. And as I said yesterday, I watched that last block get produced and it had 12.5 Litecoin reward in the miner. The next block, it's 6.25. I mean, it just worked exactly when it's supposed to. The reward got cut. Boom. Less Litecoin coming onto the market. It's an inflationary asset, I guess, for right now, but it's a slow rate of inflation. But it's a fixed supply, and the inflation rate just got kicked down just because there's half as much coming onto the market now every day as there was before. I mean, it's defined. You know where it's going to be. And in 100 years, there's going to be like the block reward's going to be like 0.000000001. I don't know if I did my zeros right, but 7.07 times and then a 1. That's the block reward because it gets cut in half every 4 years. So next time, it's going to be, half of what it is now. What is it, 6.25? So it's going to be 3.125. And then, it's going to be 1.5, a little over 1.5 the next 4 years. And I mean, it's just like pretty soon, it's like, man, there's just not that much coming onto the market. I need to get some of this. How do I get some? Well, open your FedNow, CBDC, you know, Phoenix wallet, whatever they're going to call it, and you'll be able to buy some. But first you need to make sure your social credit score is high enough, because, you know, if it's not high enough, then you might not be able to buy it, because, you know, you got to be in the right tier. You got to be in the right level, participating, you know, in society and doing good things for the government and obeying like a good citizen slave that you are. And then you might be able to get some, just a little bit, whatever we say, you know, based on your behavior, of course. And then you've got it, and then, well, you know, if you want to withdraw it, you got to make sure that you got to get that score up a little bit more, because, you know, to withdraw it, I don't know if you're responsible enough to be able to handle sound money for the digital age in your possession. So get that credit score up a little bit, then you can withdraw it to an authorized wallet, of course, you know, not just some rogue wallet, you know, can't do that. But see, this is the world that they want to take us into. So right now, my point is, when everybody undervalues something, that's the time to get it. When you know the fundamentals, of course. And anything can be cheap, but it might just be cheap and, you know, not built on anything good. You know, maybe a piece of junk. But there's a difference between something being cheap and something being undervalued. Okay, look at a Litecoin. It's way undervalued. Got an opportunity right now. That's all I'm saying. You got an opportunity right now. At some point, you're going to say, oh, well, you know, I guess I should have looked into it. Could have had something I could have used. Peer-to-peer, send value for low fees. Something just works, and it does. All right, what else? Chat. Back to the chat. Joint ops, DGB. Absolutely, I love DigiByte. We're going to talk about DigiByte tonight. We do a lot on hash it out. I mean, that's what we do. We talk about DigiByte. Yes, you and Cliff are both onto something. I mean, I got it from Heliothorn on Twitter, the LK99 stuff. You know, he was talking about it I don't know, almost 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, man, this guy's talking about this LK99 stuff, you know, and it's pretty serious stuff. And you know, I just started kind of looking into it a little bit yesterday. I'm like, dang, Paulie P won some money this morning. Awesome. Hope it was Litecoin. He said dollars, though. Don't put it back into that one-armed bandit. You know, these machines are handicapped now. They don't even have one arm. They don't even have one arm. You just have buttons. You know, no arm bandits. Anyway, yeah, Charlie G, saw that. Blind Dave in the house. He's going to re-listen later. He's got a lot going on. Same with Mark Weems. He's listening while having a lunch break. Pretty awesome. Dave, like you said, yeah, I did mention 4 p.m. Central Time today on your channel. We're going to have Let's Hash It Out. We're going to get into some of these Litecoin shenanigans that are going on with Johnny Law. And we'll be talking some DigiByte and talking about whatever. We're just going to hash it out. So get in the chat, ask questions, and, you know, maybe we can all put our heads together and figure this stuff out. We can all hash it out. Papa Pawn. Selling silver, gold for good crypto. I'm diversifying. Oh, interesting. Gary M., you're in the house. Good cryptos. What is good cryptos? History counts. It absolutely does. Wonder when they will hold crypto for tradition. Interesting thought. Huh. Phoenix wallet. Yeah, you know, I had to say it. When I bought my very first Litecoin, it was 188 bucks each. So I love these prices now. It's on sale. Absolutely. I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, if you liked it then, you should love it now. And see, but people get so wrapped up in this whole price thing. And yeah, at some point, price does matter when you want to buy something with it or do something with it. I'm telling you, though, at some point, everything's going to be valued in crypto. It's not going to be valued in the dollar. It's going to be valued in how much crypto do you have. And it's what kind of cryptos do you have? Because not all of them are going to have value. So you got to look at the things that work, that have been around for a long time, that have a fixed supply, that have networks that are pristine, that have been running forever. 12 years, nonstop Litecoin here in what, 2 months? That's why people love Bitcoin. It's been running since 2009. Yeah, beginning of 2009. Satoshi was mining it all. What did he do with all that Bitcoin? Where's it at? Stash. They call it the Satoshi stash. Where is it? I don't know. Where is it? What 3-letter agency is holding it? I like Litecoin, okay? It is what it is. You can take it or leave it. Doesn't matter to me. You can leave it. Please leave it for a lot cheaper. I'll take it from you. And that's it, because I know there's 84 million. And it's all there ever be is 84 million. It's only like 73, 74 million right now. It'll take the next 100 years to mine out the next 10 million. That's how long it's going to take. That's how scarce it's becoming. 0.01 Litecoin for every person in the world. 0.25. If it's just the United States and we live in a little Litecoin bubble and that's it, only got Litecoin, only people in the US can buy it. The people in the US, if we bought up all the Litecoin and distributed it equally, it's only 0.25 Litecoin each. That's it, a quarter of a Litecoin. Absolutely stupid. 22 bucks or something for a quarter of a Litecoin. Buy things when they're undervalued is really what it comes down to. Silver, something else, it dipped to like $1 an ounce. Way undervalued. Could it go to $14 an ounce? Yeah, I saw it in 2008 when we had all this crashing. You know, it went down to like, I don't know, something like 10 bucks an ounce. Couldn't get it for that. Had to pay like 17 bucks an ounce, 20 bucks an ounce to get it. So the stated price didn't reflect the actual value of it and the actual desire and, you know, that people are willing to pay. I mean, sure, they can drive the price down and make it look terrible. Thing is, there's only so much of it to go around. And if you've got it, you've got it. I mean, those people who criticize certain things, they don't have any of it, or they've never used it. They don't understand. You know you know how good it feels to know that you've got something in your hand, you know, that you've got a silver coin in your hand. You know how many people don't even have one silver coin? A lot of them. Trust me, I know them. Smart people. Talk to them. Like, giving it to them. Say, here, there's a silver coin. What's this? It's like, well, it's an ounce of silver. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool. It must be valuable. Yeah, it is valuable. See, they understand it innately, you know, that it has value. But it gives you that peace of mind in knowing that you've got something of value, of use, that you know at some point is going to have a whole lot more purchasing power, because historically it has a whole lot more purchasing power than it does now. So why do you want to wait and FOMO into it? Oh my God, it hit 30 bucks. I better get some. Well, you should have had some already. What are you thinking? But that's what's going to wake people up. Silver will go to $30, it'll go to 35, you know, and oh my God, I got to get silver. And then they'll shoot it to 50, and oh my God, I got to get more silver. I got to sell this and do this, take out a mortgage on my house. It's the only thing that, you know, it is sound money. I get it now. Oh my God. And everybody gets it. And then the FOMO comes in. It's just like crypto. The same human emotions control it. They're going to FOMO into it. It'll go to $100. And then people say, $100, you know, I bought it at 20. I think I'll take some off the table and buy something with it and do something with it. You know, will it stop there? No. How long will it take? I don't know. The fact is, it's going to happen. It's already written in the stars. Just telling you. Same thing with Litecoin. That's why I like it. It's undervalued. Has use case. And gold and silver? I mean, why am I paying $2,000 for an ounce coin? Why would I do that? Why don't I get an ounce coin for 25 bucks? It's the same thing. Does the same stuff. Actually, silver gets used up, and there's less of it as we go on. Gold, nobody gets rid of that stuff. They go to the bottom of the ocean, pull it out. You know what I mean? Doesn't get destroyed. You got all this gold everywhere. How much silver is there? And it's got utility. You can do stuff with it. Healing properties, electrical properties, conductive properties, all this stuff. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it really is. Anybody who's done any research and has an open mind and doesn't have a vested interest in an established order, they look at these things like silver and Litecoin and they understand, wow, the fundamentals are really, really, really out of whack. They really are. How long can they be out of whack? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Longer it is, and the longer my time frame is, better for me. Get it a lot cheaper. Use a lot less energy to get it. And then at some point, something breaks. Something snaps. It's like our current economic system. At some point, something snaps. And then everything starts getting revalued. Holy cow, that house, $1 million? It's really only worth $100,000 in materials. The land that it sits on, yeah, I mean, it used to be valuable. You know, you got people walking around rioting, and, you know, it's not very valuable land. I'm just kind of stuck here. It's kind of a liability, a prison. I'll sell it, get rid of it. You know, what has value? Ask yourself that. You know what I think has value? It's what I talk about. Anyway, back to the chat, and I'll finish this rant up. Okay, Dave. No, that's a good point. Litecoin may become too scarce to use. I mean, it may become like another Bitcoin at some point, to where people are like, really don't want to use it. Okay, well, use DigiByte, use Dogecoin, you know, for payments, that kind of thing. But It's like baseball cards. At some point, you know, hey, they only made so many Nolan Ryan rookies, and if you've got one of them, do you really want to get rid of it? Yeah, it can be used as a means of exchange. You know, you can sell it in a lot of different places, and somebody will give you whatever you want for it. But do you really want to get rid of it? You know, yeah, it may become collectible. A lot of Bitcoins become that way. It's kind of a collector's item anymore. Nobody wants to spend it. Will that happen to Litecoin? I guess it could, because it still has a fixed supply, and you just don't want to get rid of it. Well, I'll spend my Dogecoin. You know, Dave was talking about that in the chat. You know, Gresham's Law. What are you going to spend? Well, I'm going to spend those dirty fiat dollars, get rid of those things because I know they're getting eroded away. Am I going to spend my Litecoin? No. And I do spend my Litecoin. Let me just say that. I do that because I like to have that feeling, that empowerment of knowing what the network does and how it works, because at some point you're going to use it, I would think, as money, because that's what it is. But, you know, I don't go out there and just spend it all. Yeah, just spend it all. No, you can still replace it at a very minimal cost, so you can go spend it, and you can replace it, and it's just that whole ecosystem and build it. Because if there are people like 84million.com, 84million.com sells Litecoin gear. I pay him in Litecoin. Yeah, I can use a credit card, but I know it's, or a debit card even. I know he's going to get hit with fees and the price. You know, you buy $100 worth of stuff. Well, you know, he's going to get hit with probably a 4 or 5% fee. Who knows how much? And it's like, okay, so I just lost $5, you know, on that transaction. I don't want to do that to somebody. I got enough respect for somebody to give them good money. And it's like, you're selling Litecoin stuff. I'm going to pay you in Litecoin. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what I do. You know, but people that don't appreciate it, it's like, why do I want to give it to them? You know, why don't I want to spend it at Walmart? Yeah, I mean, I do it just to test it and just to use the use case. You know, does this work, that kind of thing. But am I doing that on a regular basis? No. But I am spending it just to show, you know, that I'm going to give that to other people. Like I said, I won a half a Litecoin last night, you know, on the Litecoin underground space. So I'm going to do something with it. I don't know. You know, I'll put it back into the Litecoin community, or people who appreciate that and want to use it as sound money and build that circular economy. So that's just what I do. That's what we should all do. All right, sold some gold to get more silver. I think that's a good trade. I mean, you know, take that gold and swap it into silver. What is it, 60, 70 to 1 ratio? Something silly. Unreal, 80 to 1. Crazy. 100 to 1, what is it, 2,000? Yeah, it's under that. But yeah, I mean, it's an absolutely crazy ratio, all the silver that you get. It's like, I kind of feel the same way about Bitcoin. I'm like, if I had any Bitcoin, but I don't buy Bitcoin. I had Bitcoin in the past, but I got frustrated with it. I got frustrated because I want to use stuff and I want to proof it out and use it. Frustrating to spend, to move around. I just can't take it, especially when the fees are high. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I came to a conclusion long ago. I'm done. And I don't disparage anybody else for liking Bitcoin and using Bitcoin and using it as a store of value. I don't. I really don't. I don't care. Use whatever you want. It's just, it's not for me. Okay? I've chosen my path. I've got a different path than other people. I'm not going to go beat you down and say, you're an idiot. What are you doing? You got money you can't even use, you moron. You know, it's going to cost you $1,000 transaction fee, like Sailor said, in the future. And if you only got $2,000 in Bitcoin, you're going to lose half of it just trying to transact it. Ah, you're stupid. I mean, do I go around doing that? No. Do whatever you want. Choose your path. It is what it is. I prefer Litecoin. I really like DigiByte too. All right. Yes, always practice how to use crypto for when you need it. You know how. I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, you should, because that's what it is. It's sound money. It's electronic money, you know, peer-to-peer electronic currency outside of a financial institution. The beauty of that statement in the white paper, and then to see it come to fruition and be able to do it right now in the midst of this collapsing, dying, frickin' vampire casino corporate empire that we have. In the midst of all that, you've got an opportunity to just opt out of it and start using something else and prepare the way. Probably should start doing that so we're ready to do it and it's not like some shock. Oh my gosh, you know, what am I supposed to do? They've locked me down in this system. Hey, guess what? You know, I've got this crypto over here I've been using. You know what? I bet you other people will take it now because they don't want to be locked in that system. Just like when you go and pay cash for something right now. It's the same analogy. I mean, yeah, I like cash, you know, any small business. Yeah, we love cash. You know, it's like, please don't pay us in the frickin' debit and credit cards. Don't use a MasterCard or Visa, please. We're going to get hit with a fee. You know, they make more money if you pay with cash. It's the same with crypto. They're going to make more money. And without all the encumbrances, without all of the BS and all the hitches. They're not going to get charged back 6 months later, like a credit card will do. Not going to have a holding account with money in it that, if we need to take that, we got to take that out of your account, deposit, escrow, whatever you want to call it. No. It's like digital cash, pure cash. That's what it is. You send it to them, boom, they have it. It's theirs. Awesome. Love doing business this way. And that's what I mean. Once people start using it and understanding it and how easy it is and how it benefits them, there's no going back. There's no going back. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And I use Litecoin. I've used Bitcoin, hate it. Hate the experience. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. Pisses me off. Bitcoin pisses me off. It does. So much of a better experience with Litecoin. So much easier to transact. I mean, if I'm using money, I'm using Litecoin. Digital money, sound money for the digital age. That's why I say that, because that's my experience. And I think that's going to be everybody else's experience who come into it and start using cryptocurrency. Once you use it, you understand, oh, this really sucks. Why am I using this? Hey, there's this over here. Let me try that. Oh, so much easier. It's just the way it is. All right. Still waiting on that 1952 Mickey Mantle Topps card, huh? Yeah, that sucker. I remember when I was a little kid collecting cards. Oh, man. I thought it was expensive then. Now it's just ridiculous. I mean, if you want to look at inflation, look at some of these high-dollar baseball cards and what they're worth. I saw Costco was selling sports memorabilia. I don't know what the price was. It had a Babe Ruth signed ball, certified, all this. I mean, it was tens of thousands of dollars, something ridiculous. And I'm thinking, man, you know why? Because there's only a few of them out there. It's something scarce, and that's what people want. They want something with a finite supply. If there's only one, even better. Is there any guarantee, though, that there's only one Babe Ruth ball out there that, somebody else might have it and bring it out? And, I just paid $100,000 for the only one. And next thing you know, 3 more come out on auction. You're like, oh, man, what's that do to the value of yours? That's the same thing that happens with silver and gold in the past. I mean, over time, they hold their value. But the thing is, what if you get a big mother load of gold? That happened with silver. Well, the silver that's out there, it's like, it's not worth quite as much now because all this other new supply came in. Guess what? You don't have that problem with crypto. Rules are defined very clearly. You know how many there are going to be, how many there will ever be. That's what I like. I like the game that has the rules defined. The goalposts don't move. The ball doesn't change. You know exactly what the kind of game you're playing. And to me, I'll play it forever because I understand. I understand the rules and I understand how to win. I understand the rules in Litecoin. I know how to win. You just get it. You just get it. When it's on sale, you get it. Accumulate it. You can always use it. All right, that's my little rant. Yes, rant, Clint, rant. Mark, love it. Okay, I've ranted long enough, I think. It's about noon here in my time. And no, I appreciate you all being in here. I really do. Allowing me to vent. And obviously you're entertained, so you keep coming back. And that's okay. Some of you like to laugh about things, and that's cool. But it's all good. All right. Love you all. Hope to see you tonight, 4 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Central Time on Blind Dave's channel for Let's Hash It Out. And then tomorrow on Happy Hour, 4 p.m. Central Time on the lovely Litecoin Lisa's channel. All right, man. Do not give your power to vampires. They're everywhere, and that's all they want to do is just rob and drain and suck all the energy out of you because that's what they do. And everything you see, vampires everywhere. Don't give your power to them. Get away from them. Know who they are, and know that who you are and what you're all about and what you're connected to that they're not connected to. They want your energy. Don't give it to them. Trust yourself. That's what you got to do. Always trust yourself. Have a wonderful Thursday. Love you all. Hope to see you on Hash It Out tonight.